I was sitting in the middle of a crowded dinner party when my sister-in-law, Rebecca, started loudly criticizing my parenting choices in front of 12 of our closest friends. She began with a small jab about my daughter's bedtime and quickly escalated into a full-scale lecture about how I was too soft and was raising a child who wouldn't be able to handle the real world. I felt the heat rising in my face as the entire table went quiet, the clinking of silverware stopping as everyone waited to see how I would react to her unsolicited advice. I had been nothing but supportive of Rebecca through her own struggles, but here she was using my private life as a way to perform her supposed superior wisdom for an audience. I felt trapped against the back of my chair, the walls of the dining room seemingly closing in on me. Rebecca had always been the competitive type, someone who needed to be the smartest person in the room at all times, even if it meant stepping on her own family to get there. My husband was sitting right next to me, but he was staring at his plate, clearly wanting to avoid a scene with his sister, which only made me feel more isolated. I realized that if I didn't stop her now, this would become the new dynamic for every family gathering for the next 10 years. She actually had the nerve to ask the woman sitting across from us if she didn't agree that my methods were borderline negligent, trying to recruit the other guests into her little tribunal. It was a calculated attempt to humiliate me under the guise of being a concerned aunt. Rebecca, I appreciate that you have strong opinions, but this is a dinner party, not a parenting seminar, and I didn't ask for your feedback, I said, my voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through me. She tried to laugh it off, saying she was just trying to help because she cared so much about her niece. But I didn't let her back away from the conflict she started. I told her that if she had actual concerns, she could have called me privately. But choosing to bring them up in front of a group of strangers proved she was more interested in her own ego than my daughter's well-being. The silence that followed was incredibly awkward, but for the first time in years, I felt like I was actually standing on solid ground in her presence. I didn't apologize for the tension, and I didn't try to make small talk with her for the rest of the evening. I simply engaged with the other guests and acted as if she weren't even in the room. When we finally got home, I told my husband that if he didn't start backing me up when his sister crossed the line, I would stop attending events with his family altogether. He realized then that his silence had been a form of complicity, and he promised to handle her the next time she started her power plays. It was a turning point for our marriage, and for my relationship with my in-laws, as I finally stopped being the polite victim of their family drama. Rebecca tried to send me a long defensive email the next day, but I simply deleted it without responding because I realized I didn't owe her a platform for her toxicity anymore. We have a much more distant relationship now, which is exactly what I needed to keep my peace of mind and protect my family's privacy. I learned that being cornered is only a feeling, and as soon as you speak up, the walls tend to move back to where they belong. I am much happier now that I have established firm boundaries with people who think my life is their business. My daughter is doing wonderful, and I am confident in the choices I make for her without needing the approval of someone who doesn't understand our home.